Long before the current age of stars, the galaxy had seen many empires rise and fall. Civilizations stretched across hundreds of worlds, building fleets, forging alliances, and waging endless wars. But no matter how powerful or ambitious they became, there was always one silent law shared by all. Never go to Earth. Never wake the humans. No records explained why. No official histories told the story. Generations of alien rulers simply taught the next, do not disturb that world. Do not wake its sleeping people. Most species accepted it without question. After all, the galaxy had enough dangers already. Black holes, warlords, ancient machines that refused to die. Why risk one more? But curiosity never truly sleeps. Among the younger species, especially the scavenger guilds who made their living by exploring forbidden or abandoned places, the mystery of Earth was a temptation too strong to ignore. The scavenger crew. The starship Drifting Spark belonged to one such guild. It was not a mighty warship or a grand research vessel. It was patched together from old parts, its crew a mix of outcasts and dreamers. They traveled from system to system, searching for forgotten ruins, lost cargo, or rare technology they could sell. Its captain, Valen, was a tall insectoid alien with translucent wings folded against his back. To him, rules were like thin nets, meant to be broken by those clever enough. He gathered his crew in the dim command chamber as the ship drifted near a blue-green planet that looked small against the endless night. "This is it," Valen said, his mandibles clicking with excitement. "The Forbidden World." A murmur passed through the crew. Some were thrilled, others afraid. A scaled pilot whispered, "You cannot mean Earth, the humans?" Valen's compound eyes glittered. "Yes, Earth, think of it. Relics untouched for ages. Technology lost. Artifacts of the most feared species in legend. Do you think we came this far just to turn away because of a bedtime story?" One of the younger crew members, a feathered mechanic named Rill, shuffled uneasily. "But Captain, the warnings are clear. No fleet dares come close. Even the Council avoids this star system. If the rule exists, it must be for a reason." Valen struck the table with a claw, silencing them. "And the reason is profit. Fear keeps everyone else away, leaving all the treasure for us. Do you want to scavenge broken mining drones forever? Or do you want riches beyond imagining?" Silence followed, heavy with both fear and temptation. At last the crew nodded, each one convincing themselves that legends were just that. Old tales told to control the weak-minded. Valen smiled. "Good, prepare to descend. Today, history belongs to us." The sleeping planet, the Drifting Spark, pierced through Earth's atmosphere, its engines glowing faintly as it slipped past clouds. The crew gazed down at vast oceans, silent forests, and mountains capped with snow. Earth looked alive but empty. No cities blazed with light. No satellites orbited the skies. It was a world asleep. They landed near a place that once might have been a city. Nature had reclaimed much of it. Vines wrapped around broken towers, rivers cut through streets, and birds wheeled through the sky. Yet beneath the wild beauty lay shapes too precise to be natural. Structures of steel and glass, half buried in the soil, whispered of a civilization that had once reached higher than any tree. Rill stepped out first, feathers ruffling in the cool wind. "It is beautiful," he murmured. "But strange. It feels like the world is waiting. Waiting for us to find its secrets," Valen replied sharply. "Spread out. Look for vaults, tunnels, anything sealed. Humans never wasted effort. If they left this world, they hid treasures worth finding." The first relic hours later, deep within a collapsed building, the crew uncovered a hidden passage. It led underground into a chamber untouched by time. Strange lights flickered on as they entered, powered by energy cells that had not faded in centuries. At the center stood a transparent capsule, filled with mist. Inside lay a figure, humanoid, silent, unmoving. The crew froze. Even Valen stepped back, Rill whispered, voice trembling. Is that a human?" The figure inside was tall, broad-shouldered, with features unlike any alien species they knew. Though asleep, he radiated a presence that made even the bravest scavenger uneasy. His hands were clenched into fists, as if even in slumber he prepared for struggle. Valen recovered first. His voice rose, sharp with greed. "Do you see? Proof. Humans were real, not just myths. And this one he has preserved. Imagine the value. Scientists, warlords, collectors, they would pay fortunes for even a fragment of his armor, let alone the body itself." Rill shook his head violently. No, we must leave it. The law was not just about the planet, it was about them. The humans. If we disturb this, who knows what might happen? But Vaylon ignored him. He moved closer, placing a clawed hand against the glass. Think of it. One capsule here means there may be more. An entire army frozen beneath this world. We could unlock them, control them. The galaxy itself would bow before us. The others watched, torn between fear and greed. And then with a hiss of ancient machinery, the capsule responded to Vaylon's touch. Lights blazed, alarms hummed softly, and the mist began to clear. The figure inside stirred. A presence awakens. The scavengers staggered back, panic filling their voices. He moves. The human wakes. Close it! Stop the machine! But it was too late. The capsule's systems, once dormant, surged to life with energy older than their civilizations. The man's eyes flickered open, piercing, unclouded, as if he had merely slept for a single night instead of centuries. He drew his first breath with a sharp gasp, the sound echoing through the chamber like thunder. Rill's feathers bristled. His instincts screamed that something vast and unstoppable had just been set in motion. The air itself felt heavier, charged with unseen power. The human sat up slowly, his gaze sweeping across the room. He said nothing at first, but the crew felt as though they had been weighed, measured, and judged in a heartbeat. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm but carried strength that shook their bones. Where am I? Who woke me? Vaylon stammered, struggling to find words. His greed had carried him here, but now his courage faltered. We are explorers. You were sleeping. We found you. The man's expression hardened. How long? Centuries, perhaps longer, Rill admitted softly. He bowed his head, unable to meet the human's eyes. Forgive us. We should not have disturbed you. The human's gaze lingered on him, then turned to the others. He rose from the capsule, towering above them. Even without weapons or armor, his presence filled the chamber. It was not rage that the scavengers saw in him, but resolve, like a storm gathering on the horizon. My name, he said, his voice steady, is Commander Elias Kane. And if I have awakened, then something is very wrong. The rumor spreads as the scavengers reeled from what they had done. Word traveled faster than light. Other ships had detected the energy surge from Earth. Messages raced through hidden channels, whispered across marketplaces and council halls. The humans are stirring. One is awake. The old fear returns. Across the stars, species remembered the warnings their ancestors had left them. Entire fleets shuddered at the thought of humanity's return. And yet none dared to move first. They watched and they waited as the one law of the galaxy was broken. On Earth, Elias Kane looked to the sky, sensing a vast galaxy he had once known only through stories. His fists tightened. The stars themselves seemed to tremble, for they knew the truth the scavengers had not. The rule had never been about protecting humans. It had always been about protecting the galaxy from them. The first light of the alien sun crept through the tall ruins of the abandoned city. Commander Elias Kane had already left the capsule. His senses were sharp, each step deliberate as he walked through the crumbling streets. Dust and wind swirled around him, carrying the faint scent of old metal and stone. The planet was quiet, too quiet, but Kane's instincts told him this silence was dangerous. He had no memory of exactly how long he had been asleep, only flashes, images of distant worlds, fleets of ships and voices shouting commands. Now he was awake in a place strange and foreign, yet the planet itself felt familiar. He could feel its heartbeat, slow and steady, as if it had been waiting for him. The scavengers' panic. The scavenger crew, who had awakened him, had hidden behind broken walls and fallen towers. Vaylon paced nervously, trying to think of an excuse, a way to explain their actions. But even he felt small under Kane's gaze. You were asleep, Vaylon said cautiously. We did not know. Do not speak, Kane interrupted. His voice was low, controlled, but filled with authority. I do not know why I have been disturbed, but you have awakened something that should have slept. Rill, the feathered mechanic, stepped forward. Commander Kane, please. We did not know the danger. We only wanted to explore. Kane turned to him, eyes piercing. Exploration comes at a cost. You have broken a law older than your guild, older than your empire. The galaxy remembers humans. Some call it fear, others call it respect. But all have obeyed one rule: do not wake us. The crew shivered. They had thought humans were myths, stories to scare young aliens into obedience. But standing before them was proof that those stories were real. And the proof was awake, strong and aware. Understanding the world, Kane walked further, observing the ruins around him. Towers lay toppled, bridges had collapsed, streets were overgrown with plants, but scattered among the destruction were signs of intelligence. Symbols carved into stone, machinery half buried in earth, and a strange energy grid faintly pulsing beneath the surface. Humans once thrived here, Kane muttered to himself. They built cities, technology, fleets. But what happened? Why are we gone? He pressed a clawed finger against a metal panel on the ground. Instantly, holographic images sprang to life around him. Ships, worlds, battles long past. He realized that these humans had fought against impossible odds, rising above every enemy. And then, the images stopped. A warning appeared. The humans were put to sleep to protect the galaxy. Disturbance will awaken them. Kane's jaw tightened. The warning made sense. Yet it also confirmed a truth he had long suspected. The galaxy had feared humans not because they were cruel, but because humans were capable of greatness. Too much greatness for any one empire to control. First contact beyond the planet. As Kane explored, sensors on the scavenger ship picked up signals from distant fleets. Alien species had noticed the energy surge caused by the awakening. Councils that had remained silent for centuries began urgent discussions. It cannot be, one leader said in their chamber. The humans, they are awake. Others were less cautious. If they have awakened, we must strike first. No race can allow them to rise again. But Kane did not yet know of these whispers. On Earth, he focused on understanding his surroundings. He needed to find the other humans. If even one had survived in stasis, there could be more. And if there were more, the galaxy would need to know that humans had returned. He followed a network of tunnels beneath the city, each step lighting small markers left by the humans long ago. These tunnels led him to a central vault where stasis chambers lined the walls. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of humans lay in deep sleep, waiting for the right moment. Kane's heart tightened. They must awaken, he said quietly. They must see the galaxy, know its dangers, and reclaim what was taken from them. The scavenger's dilemma. Back on the surface, the scavenger crew debated what to do. Phelan wanted to take control of the vault, to sell the humans or use them for power, but Rill argued against it. We cannot control them, Rill said. Even one is stronger than any fleet we have seen. If they awaken fully, we are doomed, Phelan laughed nervously. Doomed? You think humans are unstoppable? Rill shook his head. Not unstoppable, but different. They are not just strong. They are creative, relentless, fearless. Look at the one we woke. He commands attention without weapons. He is humanity. Phelan's laughter faltered. Even he could feel the truth. The humans were not mere creatures to manipulate. They were a force of nature, patient, cunning, and precise. The first awakening ceremony, Kane returned to the vault with determination. He began the careful process of unlocking the stasis chambers one by one. Each human who awoke blinked at the strange new world, but soon recognized the signs of the galaxy's danger. They stood together, unarmed but united, a silent promise passing between them. Rill and the other scavengers watched in awe. Even Phelan, who had dreamed of profit and glory, felt a shiver of fear. The humans did not attack. They did not shout. They simply stood, ready for whatever challenge awaited. Why do they not fight? Whispered Rill. Because they do not need to yet, Phelan admitted. They are waiting. For something. Kane turned to them, now aware of the alien intruders. You have seen us, he said, but do not mistake our patience for weakness. You have broken an ancient law. You have awakened humans who should have slept. The galaxy will remember your actions. The galaxy's reaction as the humans awakened. Distant alien fleets monitored the events silently. Some species sent fleets to contain the situation. Others prepared diplomatic missions hoping to understand the humans before conflict erupted. Messages traveled through the stars. The humans are waking. One is active. The stars themselves tremble at their return. Kane did not yet know of the whispers. He focused on Earth, on gathering his people, on understanding what had changed in the galaxy while he slept. He felt a responsibility not just for his fellow humans, but for the balance of power that had been disrupted by their absence. The humans' awakening was not just a moment. It was a ripple that would spread across the stars. and the galaxy would never be the same. Preparing for the future, Kane gathered the humans who had awakened. He explained what he knew. Their people had been placed in stasis to prevent galactic destruction. The empires had feared humans, yet humanity had survived in silence, waiting for the moment they would be needed again. "We awaken not to conquer," Kane told them, "but to protect, to survive, to remind the galaxy that we are not to be underestimated. They may fear us, but we must rise not with anger, but with purpose." One by one, the humans nodded. Their eyes held determination, courage, and intelligence. Even in sleep, the galaxy had underestimated them. Now awake, they were ready. Outside, alien fleets moved closer, drawn by the energy surge. Kane stood at the entrance of the vault, observing the stars. He clenched his fists. "They will come," he said quietly, "and we will show them what humans are capable of." The stars, distant and indifferent, seemed to shiver at his words. Commander Elias Kane stood at the edge of the vault, watching the stars blink in the distance. He had awakened the first group of humans, and their presence had already begun to ripple through the galaxy. Yet the full meaning of their return was still unknown. Kane felt a deep, steady energy inside himself, a reminder that humans were different. They did not rely solely on strength. They relied on will, creativity, and courage. Around him, the humans were moving with quiet precision, exploring the tunnels and securing the chambers. Every step they took reminded Kane that they were no longer a lost species. They were awake and their time had come. Messages across the stars. Even before Kane had the chance to plan his next move, distant sensors picked up alien fleets moving toward Earth. Ancient races who had once fought humans trembled in fear. Legends had warned them. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and capable of defying the strongest empires. Some sent fleets to destroy the planet. Others debated whether to observe or retreat. Still, one thing was certain: the galaxy remembered humans. A council of alien leaders convened in a massive orbital station. Holographic figures floated above the table, each representing a species older than any human could imagine. "The humans are awake," said one. "A crystalline being with light refracting through its body. One is active, and energy readings suggest more will awaken soon." "They were supposed to sleep," said another. A scaled creature with sharp claws. "Centuries of rest, and now they return." "They cannot be stopped," whispered a voice from the shadows. "They are unlike any species we have faced. Even now their influence spreads faster than our fleets can respond." The council fell silent. No one argued. No one questioned. The humans were feared not for what they had done yet, but for what they could do. Kane's first move, Kane gathered his people in the largest chamber of the vault. The humans, newly awakened, looked at him with wide eyes. They had been asleep for centuries, yet their minds were sharp, their bodies ready. "We have been placed here for a reason," Kane said, his voice calm but firm. "We were not destroyed because we were too dangerous to control. Now we awaken because the galaxy needs to understand that humans cannot be ignored." A woman stepped forward. Her name was Solara, a warrior with long dark hair and eyes that seemed to see through lies. "Commander Kane," she said, "what is our first step?" "The ship's approaching. They will attack if they find us. We will not hide," Kane replied. "We do not fight to destroy but to survive. We must prepare ourselves, understand what has changed, and let the galaxy see the truth about humanity." Solara nodded, understanding the weight of responsibility. Kane turned to the others. "Split into teams. Scout the area. Restore communications. Learn what the galaxy believes about us. Knowledge is as powerful as weapons." The first encounter hours later, a small fleet of alien scouts approached Earth's atmosphere. They had detected the energy signature of the awakening humans and came to assess the situation. Kane's scouts spotted them before the aliens could land. "They are cautious," Reel said, monitoring the approaching ships. "They do not know we are awake yet. They are testing, not attacking. For now." Kane studied the screens. "Let them test," he said. "Fear is a tool. We do not need to strike first. Let them see that humans are alive, aware, and united. That alone will change the galaxy." When the alien ships landed near the ruins, they were met not with weapons but with silence. Kane and his team had left a single human standing outside. A symbol. The alien scouts observed cautiously. "This cannot be," one alien muttered. "They are not attacking." "They are waiting?" "Yes," Kane said from a hidden location, watching through the holographic sensors. We wait, and the galaxy will learn that humans are not predictable. Human strategy. Inside the vault, Kane organized training and education. The humans had once been a spacefaring civilization, but centuries of sleep had left them unfamiliar with new technology. Still, their minds were quick. They learned from observation, experimented, and adapted. We must understand their fleets, Kane told the group. We cannot destroy them, but we can anticipate their actions. Humans survive not because we are stronger, but because we think, adapt, and act when others hesitate. Solara, Real, and other leaders began coordinating teams. They explored nearby ruins, repaired old technology, and unlocked hidden caches left by their ancestors. Each discovery reminded them of their heritage. Humans had once reached beyond the stars, shaping worlds, building fleets, and defeating impossible odds. The galaxy feared us then, Solara said. And it will fear us again. Yes, Kane replied. Not for destruction, but because we do not yield to fear. We rise when the galaxy believes we cannot. The power of unity as humans work together. Kane realized something vital. Unlike many alien species, humans were not divided by rigid hierarchy or ancient grudges. They questioned authority, debated, and collaborated. Every idea was valued. Every person contributed. This unity, combined with their intelligence and courage, made them a force unlike any other. Kane looked at the newly awakened humans, seeing hope and strength in their eyes. Together, he said, we can survive anything. We can show the galaxy that humans are not just survivors. We are leaders. We do not conquer out of greed. We lead because we are willing to endure, adapt, and rise when others would fall. The humans nodded, feeling a purpose they had never known while asleep. Their awakening was not just physical. It was the return of a civilization that had been underestimated for centuries. The galaxy watches beyond Earth. The galaxy continued to respond. Reports of the humans' awakening reached fleets and council chambers across countless star systems. Fear spread like wildfire. Some empires prepared for war. Others sent emissaries to observe. They are returning, a diplomat whispered. We thought they were gone forever. We underestimated them. Ships moved closer cautiously, scanning for signs of humans. Energy readings from Earth indicated growing activity, as humans explored and repaired old technology. Alien species began to realize that these were not ordinary beings. They were exceptional. Kane understood this. The galaxy would not wait for humans to act aggressively. Its leaders would judge them by potential, and humans' potential was limitless. The first test one night, Kane and his team detected an alien probe entering orbit. It was small, sleek, and armed with observation tools. It hovered silently, scanning the planet. Kane decided to confront it, but not with weapons. He gathered a small group and approached the probe in a human shuttle. As they came close, the probe's sensors detected their presence. A holographic alien appeared, speaking in a language unfamiliar yet translatable through Kane's old universal translator. Humans, it said, you are not meant to awaken. The galaxy has agreed. You are. Dangerous, Kane stepped forward. We are not here to fight, but we are here to exist. You have forgotten the humans' power. You have underestimated us. We rise not to destroy, but to remind the galaxy that we endure. That alone is enough to change everything. The alien probe paused. Its system struggled to analyze the humans' confidence and unity. It had not expected beings to be so calm, so intelligent, and so fearless. Slowly, it withdrew, sending reports back to its fleet. Humans resolve. After the encounter, Kane addressed the humans. The galaxy has already begun to tremble at our awakening. This is not a victory, but a warning. They will test us, challenge us, and try to control us. But we are not weak. We are humans. We adapt, we endure, and we rise. Solara stepped beside him. Commander, what do we do next? We prepare, Kane replied. We learn. We awaken more humans. We restore our technology. And when the galaxy sees our unity, our courage, and our creativity, they will know why the one rule existed, not because humans are cruel, but because humans are unstoppable when we rise together. The humans cheered quietly, their voices carrying determination and hope. They were no longer shadows of the past. They were a force reborn. Outside, the stars seemed to flicker as if acknowledging their presence. Across the galaxy, fleets hesitated, councils debated, and whispers of fear spread. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware, and humanity's echo of power had begun to resonate through the stars. Commander Elias Kane stood on a hill overlooking the ancient ruins of the human city. The newly awakened humans moved with purpose, repairing old technology, restoring communication systems, and preparing themselves for what Kane knew would come. The inevitable challenge from the galaxy. From orbit, alien fleets had begun to gather. They did not attack outright for fear of provoking humans, but they tested, probed, and observed. Kane understood the balance of power had shifted. Humans were no longer asleep, no longer forgotten. Their return was a spark in the galaxy, one that would ignite fear, respect, and curiosity. The first confrontation of fleet of alien warships entered the atmosphere, sleek and silent. Unlike the scouts Kane had encountered earlier, these ships carried weapons capable of destroying entire cities. Their commanders were old and cunning, having studied humans from records, myths, and history. They believed that humans could be defeated with force and intimidation. Kane gathered his team. "They think they can threaten us," he said. "They have numbers, weapons, fleets. But they underestimate one thing. Humans do not rely on numbers alone. We rely on ingenuity, strategy, and the ability to adapt." Solara, standing beside him, nodded. "Then we will show them what humans are capable of without fighting unnecessarily." Real, the young mechanic, checked the restored energy grid. "We can use their approach against them," he said. "Redirect energy to create illusions, delay their systems, make them hesitate." Kane smiled. "Exactly. We do not need to destroy them. We need to prove we are awake and aware. Let them see that humans are unpredictable." Strategy over strength. The humans had repaired several ancient towers that were once part of a defensive network. Though long dormant, the towers could project energy fields, manipulate communications, and even disable small ships temporarily. Kane had instructed them to use these tools cleverly. When the alien fleet descended, expecting to intimidate, they were met with confusion. Ships experienced system malfunctions. Communications scrambled. Energy fields flickered, blocking sensors. For every move the aliens made, humans responded, not with violence, but with precision, creativity, and calm strategy. From the alien command center, the observers whispered in disbelief. "These humans, they are not attacking but controlling the situation." "Impossible," one muttered. "They are outnumbered, outgunned. How?" "They do not fight like others," another replied. "They think. They adapt. They turn our strength into weakness." The test of wills Kane and his humans allowed the aliens to advance further, testing their intentions. The fleet hesitated, unsure if they should strike or retreat. The humans' confidence was unnerving. Every human acted as a single unit while retaining individuality, a combination the aliens had never faced. Kane called a meeting. "We have shown them our capability," he said. "But this is only the beginning. They will test our patience, our resolve. We must not strike first. Our strength is in unity, creativity, and restraint. If they understand that, they may choose negotiation over war." Solara frowned. "And if they do not?" "Then we adapt," Kane said. "We survive. That is what humans do. But we do not attack blindly. We win by outthinking them, not outgunning them." The humans nodded, their faces set with determination. They had awakened not to conquer, but to endure and to demonstrate that humanity's return was a force the galaxy could not ignore. A bold move, one alien ship attempted to bypass the defensive towers and strike the vault where humans were awakening. Kane watched through the restored communication network and gave a simple command. "Use the perimeter energy nets. Lead them into the traps, but do not harm them unless necessary." The humans executed the plan flawlessly. The ship became entangled in an invisible energy field, its systems failing. Instead of firing, Kane instructed his team to project a holographic display of the humans themselves, showing confidence and awareness. The aliens saw not aggression, but control. They realized that humans could manipulate the battlefield without firing a single shot. Their perception of threat changed. Fear began to replace certainty. In the shadows, Valan, the scavenger captain who had awakened Kane, whispered to Rill, "I thought they would be easy to control. We underestimated them. They are different." Rill nodded silently, understanding now the truth that Kane had always known. Humans were not only powerful but unpredictable, intelligent, and relentless communication. Across the stars, Kane decided it was time to send a message. Using the restored communication array, he broadcast a simple transmission. We are awake. We are aware. We seek not war, but survival. We are humans, and we rise together. The message spread quickly through the galaxy. Fleets paused, councils debated, and ancient rivals considered alliances. Humans were not acting aggressively, yet their presence alone challenged centuries of control and fear. A distant alien ambassador commented, "They do not threaten, yet they command attention. Their power lies not in destruction but in unity and determination." Another replied, "We have never faced a species like this. They think, they adapt, they endure, and now they rise." Human ingenuity. Kane knew that the galaxy would eventually act. Alien empires could not ignore humans forever, but he also knew that humans had an advantage no other species possessed: creativity combined with resolve. He organized teams to repair old starships and adapt ancient technology. Humans were learning faster than Kane had imagined. They were testing new propulsion systems, restoring energy weapons, and creating defensive shields. But all of this was done with precision, without unnecessary aggression. Solara reported, "Commander, we have mapped the surrounding space. We can anticipate fleet movements, create delays, and manipulate energy flows. They will hesitate at every step." Kane smiled. "Good, that hesitation is our power. They expect humans to fight blindly. They do not understand that our strength lies in thinking, in planning, in knowing when to act and when to wait." The alien response. Alien fleets grew wary. Some withdrew, unwilling to risk confrontation. Others sent emissaries, hoping to negotiate or at least gauge humanity's intentions. Kane welcomed these moves, knowing that the humans' presence alone had changed the galaxy's calculus. He addressed his team. "They are testing us. They seek to understand our will. Let them. We do not strike first. We do not yield. We endure, adapt, and rise. That is how humans have always survived. That is how we will remind the galaxy why the One Rule existed." The humans prepared for the inevitable. Each one understood that this was only the beginning. Their awakening was not simply about survival. It was about proving that humans were a species unlike any other, capable of facing impossible odds and shaping the course of history. The calm. Before the storm, for a brief moment, the ruins were quiet. Humans moved through the streets and tunnels, repairing technology and gathering intelligence. Kane watched them with pride. He knew that soon the galaxy would act, testing their resolve. But the humans were ready. Solara approached him. "Commander, the aliens are hesitating. They fear us, yet they do not know the extent of our power." "That is good," Kane replied. "Let them hesitate. Let them wonder. Fear is a tool, not a weapon. When the galaxy finally moves against us, we will be prepared, not with anger, but with unity, intelligence, and courage." The humans stood together, ready for whatever challenge awaited. The stars above seemed to shimmer, as if acknowledging the return of a species long thought dormant. The message of humanity. Kane spoke to his team one last time before night fell. "Remember this, the galaxy underestimated us for centuries. They believed humans could be controlled, ignored, or forgotten. But they were wrong. We do not fight out of hate. We do not conquer out of greed. We rise because we endure, because we think, because we refuse to yield. That is humanity." The humans nodded, understanding the meaning behind his words. They were not only alive, they were awake, aware, and united. The galaxy would soon learn the truth. Humans were not just survivors, but a force that could challenge the very stars themselves. Outside the ruins, alien ships lingered in orbit. They did not attack, but they observed. The humans' actions, their unity, their intelligence, and their calm confidence were enough to make even the most seasoned alien commanders hesitate. Kane looked at the sky, feeling the weight of centuries and the power of the present. "They will come," he said softly. "And when they do, they will see that humans are not to be underestimated. The stars may tremble, but we will rise." The humans of Earth had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. Part 5. The stars. Remember, the galaxy had changed. The awakening of humans had sent ripples through countless star systems. Fleets and councils, once confident in their control, now hesitated. They had underestimated humans for centuries, but the proof of their strength and ingenuity was undeniable. Commander Elias Kane stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the ruins of Earth's largest city. The wind carried the scent of oceans and forests, The same scent he remembered from before his slumber. Around him, humans worked with calm determination, restoring old technology, preparing ships, and training for the challenges that would soon arrive. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were awake, aware, and united. They had been underestimated, but now the galaxy would see their true power. The gathering storm alien fleets had begun to approach in earnest. Some came as observers, still hesitant, curious about the humans' intentions. Others arrived with weapons at the ready, determined to prevent what they feared, the rise of humanity once again. Kane convened his team. "They are coming," he said. "Some seek peace, some seek war. We do not fear either. We will show them that humanity rises not from hatred or greed, but from courage, unity, and intelligence." Solara, standing beside him, nodded. "We are ready, Commander." They will not find weakness here. Rill adjusted the energy grids that powered Earth's defensive towers. "Their ships will not harm us if we act carefully," he said. "We can anticipate their moves, disrupt their systems, and show them our strength without firing a single shot." Kane smiled. "Exactly. Humans fight not only with weapons, but with their minds, their strategy, and their will. That is what sets us apart." The first approach, as the alien fleet descended into orbit, their commanders assumed humans would panic or retreat. Instead, they were met with preparation, intelligence, and unity. Kane had positioned his people in strategic locations, restoring ancient towers and activating hidden energy networks. The first wave of alien ships advanced. They expected resistance, but the humans did not attack. Instead, they manipulated the energy grids, creating illusions and obstacles that delayed the aliens' progress. Systems failed, sensors scrambled, and the fleet's confidence faltered. A commander in one of the ships muttered, "They are not fighting. Yet they control everything. How?" "They think," another whispered. "They anticipate. They adapt. They do not rely on brute force. They are humans," Kane observed from his command post. His calm presence mirrored in the humans around him. "Let them test us," he said. "We do not strike first. We endure, we adapt, and we rise." A new strategy. Inside the vaults, humans repaired old starships and modified them with technology from Earth's hidden reserves. Ancient designs combined with modern ingenuity produced ships unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Kane addressed the humans. "They will try to challenge us. Some will seek war. Others will seek negotiation. We must be ready for both. But remember, our strength is in unity, in creativity, and intelligence. We do not fight blindly. We do not yield to fear. That is humanity." Teams spread out, preparing defenses, restoring energy networks, and studying alien technology. Every human worked with purpose, aware that their actions were shaping the perception of their species across the galaxy. Solara approached Kane. "Commander, they are watching. Some ships have not moved for hours. Others are signaling to their fleets. Fear or respect?" Kane nodded. "Both. They fear what they do not understand, and they respect what they cannot control. That is our advantage. The test of humanity." As the alien fleets observed, Kane sent a simple message across the stars. "We are awake. We are aware. We seek not war, but survival. We are humans, and we rise together." The transmission spread like wildfire. Messages reached fleets, councils, and empires. Many had underestimated humans for centuries. Now they realized that humans were not merely survivors. They were a force capable of challenging the galaxy itself. Alien commanders debated their response. Some argued for immediate attack, believing humans could be destroyed before they fully awakened. Others urged caution, recognizing the intelligence and unity displayed by Kane's people. "They do not strike," one said, "yet they control the situation. They think differently than any species we have faced." "They are not just awake," another replied. "They are aware, and they are united. This is unlike anything we have faced before." Human ingenuity in action. Kane led his teams in preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Humans repaired and adapted technology that had lain dormant for centuries. Energy shields, advanced communication networks, and old starships were restored and enhanced. "We do not fight without reason," Kane told his people, "but we prepare, we adapt, and we endure. That is how humans have survived. That is how we will show the galaxy why we were feared, why the one rule existed." Humans moved with quiet efficiency, their actions precise and coordinated. They learned from observation, adapted their strategies, and turned weaknesses into strengths. The galaxy's greatest fleets could not match the humans' ingenuity combined with their resolve. Solara spoke quietly to Kane. They will come, testing our patience and strength. Are we ready? We are always ready, Kane replied. Not because we seek war, but because we endure and we rise together. That is humanity. The arrival of the first emissaries. Finally, small alien emissaries approached Earth. They did not come with weapons, but with questions. They wished to understand the humans' intentions before committing their fleets. Kane welcomed them cautiously. You see us awake, aware, and united, he said. We do not come to conquer. We come to exist, to survive, and to remind the galaxy that humans cannot be ignored. The emissaries observed carefully. They noted the humans' discipline, intelligence, and unity. They had expected chaos or violence. Instead, they saw coordination, calm, and courage. One alien asked, "Why do you not attack us? You could destroy entire fleets." Kane looked at the emissary calmly. Humans fight when necessary. We endure always. Our power is not in destruction but in unity, intelligence, and will. That is why the galaxy feared us, and that is why we rise now. The ripple across the galaxy news of humanity's return spread across the stars. Fleets that had been prepared for war hesitated. Councils debated whether to observe or act. Traders and explorers whispered tales of humans awakening and controlling situations without firing a shot. Kane watched as humans continued their work, aware of the galaxy watching. They are learning, he said. They are observing us. Let them see humans not as conquerors, but as a species that rises with intelligence, courage, and unity. That is our message, Solara added, and it is clear. The galaxy is listening. Even the most stubborn fleets hesitate now. Yes, Kane replied. They remember. They remember why the One Rule existed, not to harm humans, but to respect what humans could become. The stars tremble in orbit above Earth. Alien commanders realized the truth. Humans were awake, aware, and united. Their presence alone had disrupted centuries of control. They were not reckless or violent, yet their potential threatened entire empires. They are different, one whispered. They do not act like other species. They think, adapt, endure, and inspire. How can we face them? They cannot be faced in the usual way, another replied. Their power is not in fleets, but in will, in intelligence, in unity. We underestimated them. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. The humans are back. The stars themselves tremble. Humanity's full return. Kane addressed his people one final time. We have awakened. We have shown the galaxy that humans endure, adapt, and rise. We do not fight for conquest, nor do we seek vengeance. We fight because we survive, because we think, and because we are united. That is humanity. The humans nodded, understanding the significance. They had awakened not only themselves, but the memory of a species once underestimated. They were alive, aware, and prepared for whatever the galaxy would bring. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging the return of a species long thought dormant. Humanity's presence had already changed the galaxy, and its future was only beginning. Kane looked to the horizon, feeling the weight of centuries and the promise of tomorrow. The One Rule was broken, he said quietly. The humans have awakened, and the stars, they will remember.